Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa, a channel, a modality, and a platform where we apply the principles of spirituality, philosophy, mysticism, and business to rapid lifestyle transformation. Big video today, ladies and gentlemen, riding on the heels of yesterday's groundbreaking video. We got a lot of views on that and a lot of questions about you don't have to feel good to manifest it. We keep driving these points home. Before we start, I just wanted to ask you a huge favor. Please, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button right under this. Do us a favor and do that, because not only is it going to enable you to get alerts for all of our videos that we do release on a daily basis, but it also helps us get the algorithm in our favor so that we can reach more people, so that we can get guests on our programs, and so that we can continue adding fuel to this great fire that is helping to awaken mankind and to get more people free. So I really appreciate you for subscribing. I really appreciate you for sharing the videos, for commenting on the videos, and for helping us keep this platform going. We thank you so much. So I got a question from a subscriber today based on that video that we did yesterday. And the question is, it's a very good question. And by the way, you can always ask me questions in the comments. If you want more privacy, you can do it on our Facebook group, and you can email me, and I will put the email in the description, not only for questions, but also for coaching calls, which are dynamic and groundbreaking. So, a subscriber asked me a question. Say, Javier, if I want to get a new car, should I confirm to myself I got the keys to my desired car? And even though I take local transport to my college, should I view myself in a car, or just be satisfied with the fact that it's already there? I'm sorry if I don't make sense, but I'm so excited about it. It makes total sense, ladies and gentlemen. And this question really hits home for me, because throughout my 20s, I hardly had a car. And the ones I did get kept breaking down, and I really couldn't get that equation together all throughout my 20s. When I hit my 30s and I learned this material, I learned how to deal with the car vibrationally, and I haven't had any problems since then. So let's lay the groundwork for this, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we really appreciate the question, of course. The questioner is asking about different techniques. And all techniques will work, but different techniques are going to work for you at different times. You can always visualize a scene. This is the easiest technique. This is the one that's recommended by Neville Goddard and others. But when you really get this material, you realize that you can use several techniques during different times, or you don't have to use any techniques. You can just click into that state. But we're going to get to that through the course of this video. But I wanted to start first with the question of techniques itself, and with the questioner insinuating or implying that he doesn't really know if he's doing it correctly or not. Don't ever focus on whether you're doing it correctly or not, because remember the video that we've talked about in many videos, but remember the concept that we hit home yesterday. You are the divine. You require no technique to get what you want. In fact, as the biblical scripture says, ask and it is given. And as Jesus also said, that your Lord knows what you want the moment you ask for it. And I say even before you ask for it. All of your desires, the moment they're born, or the moment they're conceived rather, are incubating in the universe, and the universe knows how to perfectly deliver your desire to you. So you need to do nothing. And this is the sort of the hard part for those of us who are hands in the clay, those of us who are business-minded. And that's why I've set up this channel and this platform, because we balance action and allowing. But actually, you could just do it all by allowing. So let me give you the first easy modality for this. The first modality is to say, you know what? I've put in the desire for the car, and I don't care how I get it or how I get there, or even what car I have. I'm just going to let the universe deliver me a car. And then just focus on ways to make yourself happy. And the easiest way to do that is to see the abundance that's already there with you while you're on public transportation, for example. You can appreciate the fact that your municipality has public transportation. That's a beautiful boon. There are many places in the world that don't have any transportation. Forget about public transportation. So imagine the number of people that had to put thought into this, that had to launch desires, and that had to come together to facilitate for you that public transportation. Appreciate that. Appreciate where you are. You're going to university. That's a great privilege. You're in fact among a handful of elite people who are able to go to university. So be thankful for that and have appreciation for that. Have appreciation for your life. Appreciate your family. Focus on this modality of appreciation as much as you can, and I promise you that appreciation will put you in the state of receptivity. And then you'll be able to receive your car as well as other abundance very naturally. So the key is don't ask. That's not good enough for you, is it? I didn't think so, because it's not good enough for me, and it's not good enough for a lot of viewers of this channel, because we came for the excitement, we came to make mistakes, we came to have challenges, we came to have our hands in the clay. Perhaps many people didn't. The people who are watching me did. So what's the second modality where we can actually have our hands in the clay and bring these things into our lives by tapping intentionally into the field? This is where it gets fun. So, the first thing to do is to journal and figure out exactly what car you want. Get it down to the model, get it down to the color, make it 51% believable to start with. I wouldn't start with a Porsche. I would start with a Toyota, or I'd start with something that it's going to be at least easy to get your mind wrapped around. I'd start with that as a stepping stone. Of course, if you want a Porsche or a Tesla or a Mercedes or a BMW, of course the universe can deliver that to you easily. But you're going to have to do a more indirect approach for that, because if you don't believe that it's easy for you to get a car right now, you're not going to believe that you can get a Porsche or a Mercedes. Start with your stepping stone. And the great Boris Berezovsky, in his book, How to Earn a Fortune, goes into this. He said, for example, if you're trying to raise your salary, you don't start with $1 million raise. You start with raising it by 25%. What we're doing here is we're exercising your deliberate creation muscles. Because eventually they're going to get so strong where you're going to look like a miracle worker in the public sphere. But for now, we want to exercise them. So I want you to journal about this car. Let's say it's a red Toyota. You can choose any model and color you want. And then I want you to start journaling around what you would do if you already had that. And for just a few minutes, I want you to go into as much detail as possible. Not asking at all at this stage, how can I get it? You're not asking how at all. But rather, you're simply asking why, what, when, where, how, and not how yet. Why, where, when, what. Fill in those details. Because what I want you to do now, after you have all those details, I want you to do what Joe Dispenza advises, and I want you to write down a letter that represents your desire in your journal. Let's see if we have a piece of paper here so we can demonstrate this. It's what I've gone into before, but I want to use this as a concrete example. So what you do, let's say for car you can write the letter C. You can choose whatever letter you want. And this has been proven to work. Why? And use paper. Don't use a computer for this initial stage, because there's something about the human brain that likes the layout of paper and pages. You can look into David Allen and his GTD system and the cognitive science behind it for more details about this. So you're going to draw these squiggly lines around it, which represents the magnetic field, that magnetic quality, because we're using it all, ladies and gentlemen. We're using law of attraction and law of assumption as a power punch But behind it all is the knowledge that you already have it. All of this is going to come together in helping you know that you already have it. But this is the exercise. Then I want you to do 2 categories. I want you to do feelings, and I want you to do qualities. Like that, right? Now, under qualities, you're going to write what you've journaled about in the physical. So, let's say, gets me from point A to point B smoothly. I love looking at it. Looks a beautiful red color. Drives smoothly. You can even say something like, the women are looking at me with this car. Anything like that, right? To get your juices flowing. Then, the most important side of it, this is going to be your right brain. The qualities are the left brain. Now we want to satisfy the right brain, and we want to put the feelings. So you can put any emotion that you actually feel. Excited, elated, content, so on and so forth. Now what I want you to do is I want you to look at this letter and in a fixed way, focus on it until you almost hypnotize yourself by looking at the letter. And I want you to get it seared into your brain, okay? I want you to get it seared into your mind. Then what I want you to do is I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to start imagining at least 3 short scenes that you would see had you gotten that car. And first what I want you to do is imagine that letter as surrounded by the squiggly lines. Then I want you to move that to the right as a page of a book. And then I want you to get yourself right into one of these scenes. And one of them could be that you're sitting in your car driving it on the highway. Another one could be that you're walking out of your house, you're walking toward your car. You see yourself walking toward your car. Another one could be that you're just sitting in your car having a drink. You can make any one of these scenes, any 3 of these scenes. And I want you to imagine them, each in sequence. This could take about less than 5 minutes. Then at the end of it, I want you to imagine that letter again, and then I want you to imagine it going off into the darkness, into the field, and like a seed. And then you say, I know that this seed is already there and is growing without me having to do anything. Then you open your eyes. Now what I want you to do every night before you go to sleep is imagine that scene. Every day when you wake up, imagine one of the scenes. And here's the trick to it. After about 3 days of doing that, you're going to be aligned with the car. Now, what you do during the day is this. When you feel the lack of the car, let's say now you're walking to your public transport and you feel there's a negative emotion that says, oh, I still don't have this car. Then say, no, I have it. And you can imagine any scenario that would satisfy the hunger, so to speak, then. So, for example, if you want to be driving the air conditioning, imagine yourself driving that car to your class. Imagine it in vivid detail with your eyes open. This is a skill, and you're going to get much better at this as time goes on until you can imagine it at will. Also, you can use one of those scenes that you imagine to go back to remind you that you have it. There's another methodology for this. We've talked about it in past videos. What you can do is say, now that I have this car, I can take a walk, it's no problem. Because myself, a lot of times I work close to home, and a lot of times, even though I have the car parked in the driveway, I will walk to work, just for the joy of walking. Say, you know what, I have that car, but I'm enjoying this walk, and I'm also going to walk. If you owned your car, you would walk too occasionally. Make this one of those occasions. What you're trying to do is you're trying to so interlock and intermesh that state into your daily life that you start getting used to it. After about a few days, probably a week, you're going to take it for granted that you have the car. You're not going to give a damn, except very occasionally it still might come up that you don't have it. When you do that, you immediately just say, I have that, and then imagine something that would imply you have that, or just self-talk. Hey, you know what? No, this is an emotion from the past. I already have that car. Because now you've moved completely on another film roll in your imagination. That's the film roll of having the car. And eventually the car is going to be delivered to you. Now, what you can do if you feel so inclined, now that you've got that state solidified, you can say, hey, just for fun, you can journal this. If I was serious about this car, how would I get the car? Then see how you feel. If you feel any negative emotion whatsoever, just remind yourself that you have it and stop the exercise. But eventually what's going to happen is you're going to start wanting to write down ideas about how to surround myself with that car, because I already have it. Now you're looking from past tense. You can ask yourself, how did I get it? And then eventually it could come from these ideas from your mind, or it will come to you in a way that you don't expect. But the car will come to you if you do this. But when you're asking how, here's the trick. You cannot be using the how to get it on the physical. You're doing this how exercise just for fun and just to get those vibrations flowing of you having the car. That's the trick. That's how you trick, so to speak, your subconscious mind while still being able to use the left brain and still being able to take action. It's one modality. So you can also switch between modalities depending on how you feel one day. One day you can pursue that of imagining it and of asking, how would I get that car if I were serious about it? What are some unorthodox ways or outside the box ways I can get that? Like Bashar said, could I walk onto a lot and simply ask them, hey, I'm a student, could you give me a car? If you feel so inspired, do that, because all of these actions have to feel inspired. But never do something when you're feeling heavy negative emotion. Then just stop and switch to the first modality. And the first modality is just appreciate. Just recognize the abundance already in your life. And I promise you, if you do all of these and switch between the methodologies and modalities, you will have that car in your experience before you know it. And it's going to be a way that you don't expect. And by following the second modality, you've quieted your left brain and you've honored your right brain intuition. This channel teaches you how to do it all. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. Practice this methodology, and especially the questioner, write me about how it worked, about how you're feeling, about how the process is going. Remember, I also do coaching calls where I take you hand in hand through this methodology of any effect that you want to achieve in your life. I will put my email in the description. Anyone else try this with any change or any item that you're trying to get in your life, I promise you, you will flex your manifestation muscles and you're going to shock yourself about how easy this is, about how smooth this is. And the next time you apply it, you're going to be even better and faster. So thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, we are doing coaching calls. I will put email in the description. Please subscribe and like to our channel. It helps us get the word out. I am going on the road on Tuesday. We're going to the beautiful Galveston, Texas. We're going to be making some videos on the beach in that beautiful ambiance. It's going to help us supercharge our topics on the law of assumption, law of attraction, as well as the nitty-gritty of rapid lifestyle transformation. I work every single day so that I can help as many people as possible get these concepts and practice this for a better life. So thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you probably not tomorrow night because we're leaving very early in the morning, but we will see you sometime before Tuesday morning. This is Javier with much love and appreciation. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you soon.